We're out here today at the Mini JCW Team paddock, and we are reviewing a Mini JCW Pro TC car, number 66. This is the one that was originally designed to look like the GP3. Currently, it's decked out a little bit differently, and we're going to go over the exterior features, interior features, performance enhancements, what makes this car so cool. And for today, I brought out Tony, who is the crew chief for the team, and he's going to help me talk a little bit about this car. So let's go over the exterior of the vehicle first. So go ahead, Tony, tell me what's been done.
Yeah, thanks, Zach. So this originally was a green car. It has been painted blue. It does have extensions that we made exclusively for the car.
And they're fiberglass, right?
They are fiberglass. You'll notice that the spoiler on front is specially made for us as well. It really just wraps around the factory. It's a little bit beefier, a little bit bigger. It allows us that extra stance that we need in the front end. We had replaced the front end, or we did replace the front end suspension and axles.
And I was told it's using Clubman axles and Clubman suspension pretty much up front.
Correct. That gives us an extra 2 inches in track width there.
Track width, yeah.
The wheels are 18 by 9.5.
And if anyone's curious what brand, they are Momo Catanias, I was told.
And we got 265s, 60s, 18-inch.
Pirelli tires,
Yep. Spec'd by the series for us to use, so get those direct from Pirelli. A pretty car, painted blue, done by LAP. They did a great job on it, as you can see. I'm a little bit biased to that. A lot of modifications on the inside, a lot of deletes, as you would say, from the factory. No passenger seat.
And of course, the roll cage is specified by the series, by the class.
Correct, exactly. You'll notice the dash still in. But pretty much everything else taken out here. Passenger seat's been replaced by our weights. We are required to add or delete weight depending on, its balance of performance from the SRO.
And it still has the sport mode ring right there. Also has a, what's that, for the cool box?
That is the cool box. There's a little cooler that sits here with a little pump in it. The driver can circulate cool fluid throughout a t-shirt that they wear. Keeps them cool during the race because it does get quite hot in here.
I would imagine.
Radio, team radio right there.
Factory shifter pretty much.
Factory shifter.
Lots of little buttons and controls up there.
You got it.
And even a fire suppression system by the looks of it.
Yep, exactly. Required by SRO for anything. You'll notice a fuel tank there. That is a racing fuel tank, foam in the inside. As normal, you'd expect. Big tube coming out to the side here.
Now, this is something that just happens to be on this car, but in this particular racing series, they don't really need to refuel it as frequently.
Yeah, you don't really use it in this series, but it's a quick refueling. You'll see it in the IMSA races and so on and so forth. That's what it's
And this is different, obviously, as far as refueling. If you were going like an endurance race like IMSA, this is obviously different from the TCA cars, which used to be the old IMSA cars, which refuel from the rear, basically.
Well, it is the same system. It's just on the side of the car. And the TCA car, I think you said we'll review that later. You actually open up the hatch, and it's the same ATL quick fuel system.
So it's also part of the class is this massive wing here. Which most people would find a little funny, given it's a hatchback, and hatchbacks don't normally need wings. But tell me a little bit about this.
Yeah, it gives us a little bit of extra downforce. You can see we've just a couple bars straight down into the hatch, bolted straight to it. It gives us a little extra downforce in the back.
Now, is this actually carbon fiber, or is it?
I think this is actually carbon fiber.
Okay. And then we got the brackets up here, and then this gigantic wing. And if we opened it,
thank you.
There we go. The trunk area. What would be the trunk area?
Everything out. Nice solid cage you can see here. Welded right to the frame.
And of course gussets and everything. So
you'll see cameras in here. You'll see electric equipment for SRO. We speak to the track. We speak back and forth to the driver via the radio. But SRO, we talk back, and the car talks back and forth to those guys as well.
Now, most people would also be surprised that it's using original glass. And most people think Lexan would be the thing they put in a race car, but the race cars here use actual window glass, regular glass.
You got it. It's a little bit of savings, but you're giving them a minimum weight anyway.
Yeah.
So as long as you're hitting that, you're fine. So up on top real quick, so you got your GPS antenna, SRO antenna, and that's our communication back and forth to the driver. So
and
yeah,
we're punching
holes in the roof there.
Yeah.
I think that is our own internal camera unit. That's, I believe, the GPS for that.
Okay. So over on the driver's side.
Yep. Of course, placing the reel with a racing wheel, racing seat, belts, FIA certified belts. You'll have a window net that goes up. Basically, that is if we had some sort of catastrophic accident, everything stays in the car.
And the emergency release to get out.
Yeah, exactly. The dash is here, but we're using the Motec as our dash.
So does this one still function, or is it just there?
No, it doesn't
So it's basically
function.
just there for decoration right now.
Exactly. We have a little unit which you can barely see over here. It is basically how SRO communicates back and forth to the driver for yellow
And I think
flags,
I've seen that in some
red
of the
flags.
onboard videos. It will like flash red, flash yellow,
Yeah, if
green.
there's a red flag, it'll
Yeah.
flash. If it's a yellow flag, it'll ask. Exactly. So
Okay.
that's just a little help for the driver.
So it's amazing that there's still a lot more interior that's from the factory car. So even parts of the door panels are still
Yep.
there, and even the window glass, even for the most part, is still
Correct.
in there.
Window glass is actually under there.
Yeah.
Yep. Same
So
mirrors.
Same mirrors.
Right.
So it's pretty much, for the most part, this is pretty much a stock car. But
It's a stock car. It's built from
where
a
things
stock
get
car.
interesting is under the is a little bit. Where things get a little interesting is under the hood.
Thank you.
So, to the average untrained observer, this is probably a regular stock engine,
looking
and
car.
even to a race driver, it looks somewhat stock. But there have been some changes that
Yeah,
have been
and
done.
the Motec unit, we can adjust our map,
Mm-hmm.
I guess you would say. So we do have that, but we do have a turbo from I forgot now, Countryman?
It was a JCW Countryman or Clubman, JCW
Clubman, sorry,
So
yes.
it's the GP3 turbo, basically, is what I remember Lewis saying. But I mean, it even has a stock intake for the most part.
Yep.
This is all stock right through here, all the way to the back. It's the stock intake. So tuning has been done to make it a little bit different. I noticed that these are for the suspension, so it has KWs, a pretty substantial KW suspension system here.
Exactly, those
But
are
what's-
the oil reservoirs.
Yeah, but what I remember Lewis saying is that because of the wider suspension from the Clubman, it already gives the car almost about 3 degrees of camber.
Exactly.
So these camber plates up here just add a little bit more.
Yeah,
as
it allows
needed.
us to fine tune it as we need it, because we will go up and down on that based on, again, on the track and what the driver prefers.
Pretty substantial stuff.
Yeah.
So if we come around to the front here, you'll see the auxiliary coolers, and it does have two because the Pro TC cars do have the two coolers like the GP3. So there's one under passenger headlight, one under driver's headlight, and those help with the cooling for the car.
Yeah, we'll put screens in front of all the inlets, as you can see, because
chicken wire.
I prefer screens.
Prefer screens and chicken wire?
We have quite a few, you can see quite a few stone marks throughout.
Yeah.
So if you didn't have those screens, you're coming into the pits for
And after Thunder Hill, how
radiators.
much rubber got picked up
An
in the car?
amazing amount
imagine if that had
of
gone through
rubber
the
and
grill and
stones.
gotten into the
Yeah.
bumper. This would have been insane. So that helps as well with protecting the intakes.
You can see the little fire suppression system nozzle right there.
So if there's an engine fire, that can also
That will
put out
help.
the fire.
Yep.
And we also have a NM Engineering stress bar. And I know that because I just looked at the logo right there.
Yep.
But pretty good engine right here. And then of course you got the hood pins to go up through so you can lock the hood down.
Those are simply locked through here.
And then
Push down through. If the car is incapacitated and you need to turn it off, you've got a fire button and an electronic button. We do need to put the stickers on here yet. I just didn't notice that.
We'll add those later.
To help safety understand which is which. We don't want them hitting the wrong button.
Exactly. But it's just overall, it's an incredibly impressive car. Can we turn it on and hear what it sounds like?
Yes. I have to get in to hit the clutch.
Go for it. That is loud.
It will calm down in a second. It's just very cold. We haven't turned it on yet today.
That's a cold start.
And there is a trick getting in and out of these cars because of the cage here.
Yeah.
You can't just swing, right? You can't swing your leg
No, you
out.
can't.
So basically you put your feet on the ground, butt on the...
So that's the way you get in and out of one of those
That's the
cars.
way you get in and out of one of these little pups.
So yeah, no easy way to get in and out.
There's not a key. We
Nope.
have it just switched to main power.
I understand there's no parking brake either.
No. Basically, parking brake is putting your shoe under the...
or putting
Leave
the
it
car,
in
or
gear.
putting the car in gear. Yeah.
Yeah. Which we'll do.
Yep. So now the car's in gear. And then of course we got the championships that the team has done down here on the C-pillar, including Clay's TC Driver Champion from last year.
This is the TC Drivers Champion for the SRO TC Series last year.
Yep, so this is Clay's old car.
Yep, I think we mentioned that it ran in 25 hours of Thunder Hill.
Oh yeah.
If we didn't, this car
This
took
thing did
third
incredibly
place.
well. Third place?
For
Yeah.
a car that's never really run over 40 minutes at a time.
Yeah.
It ran 25 hours pretty much flawlessly through the whole thing.
Which is a lot.
A pit stop every hour for gas. We changed pads twice during the race. Yeah, so it ran fabulously. So much better than we expected it to. It was like a top through 25 hours of racing.
Yep.
At night, a lot of it at night. So
Oh yeah,
a lot of fun.
It had the bright LEDs around it and everything.
Yep.
Now I know that there have been a lot of people on my channel that have seen this car and have asked where the heck they can get those flares, and I know that it's a guy that does the team's fiberglass and does their carbon fiber stuff, and they've talked about possibly at some point maybe making it a kit or something, but they haven't done anything yet.
Right, exactly.
So you're kind of on your own at the moment if you want something that looks like that.
Right.
But it is a cool look, and it does give the car something that you don't find on a stock JCW. You don't see a stock JCW that looks like this.
You would need it because you can see
Yeah.
where the tire actually hits.
Yeah, because the tire's like right here, and I think the wheel arc's
since
actually
we
in there further.
we gave that extra track, you have to have something, and the rules require that your wheel arches cover the wheels.
Yeah. So this car, did it also require that the car had to be wider for the class?
That's a good question that we'd have to ask Lou. I don't know that that's a requirement from SRO. I think it's just helps in the handling of the car. But we'd ask
given
Lou
the
for
short
that.
wheelbase, it probably is a helpful thing to have with the handling. Because I can't imagine this car would be very easy to run in the narrow wheelbase.
Right.
But great looking car. It also has a limited slip differential from Drexler, I believe.
Yep.
So it has that. So it has a lot of stuff to make it really.
Yeah, and you'll see the sponsorship on the bottom of all the.
But who's
items.
So what power are we putting out on this? Like horsepower wise?
300.
Around 300 horsepower.
Yeah.
And you have an idea about torque?
No, I heard in the 400, but again, Lou has the specifics.
So somewhere
ran the
around
dyno
400
on it.
torque, somewhere around 300 horsepower, maybe a little bit more horsepower. I know that they tried to put it up at a higher horsepower at one point, and it blew the stock clutch. So we know the stock clutch has a limit. So I think it's using a racing clutch now.
Yeah.
But if anyone's wondering what this thing is up here, this thing, when it lights up, is called a Lumarank. And it basically gives the car's position, gives the driver's last three initials, or last three letters of his name.
Correct.
First three letters of his last name, I should say. It gives the position and all that stuff. So it's an important thing to have. And they're actually, I think they're even different color depending on what class you're in. So I think blue is TCA, green is TC, and white is TCX. So
I'm going to go with you on that.
This I just overheard it the other day.
We'll find out in the race video.
Yeah, I overheard it the other day, so I'm just guessing on that. And then, of course, they also have the stickers that are required by the series. So Pirelli, all these stickers right here for TC America. We got the number panels on the hood. We got the number panels on the doors. And then we got a number panel around the back as well, just so that we know what car it is. We also now have the car's name thanks to a naming competition. So this is Bullet. And it goes like one.
Yep.
So overall, just an incredible car. It's just really cool. I would love to drive one of these on the street, but after driving one that's similar to this, something like this, for 30 plus hours.
Drive it around here for a little while.
Yeah, we could probably drive it out here. I can't fit in the seat, unfortunately. Well, maybe this one, I don't know.
They are pretty tight.
They are pretty tight.
They're made to really, when you're a driver, it's made to hold you very tight because you do not want to move around in the seat while you are trying to brake at the very last second and hit the throttle when you want to.
And the brakes look gigantic, but these are basically stock JCW brakes for the most part.
We got different rotors.
Yeah.
You'll notice the John Cooper works right there on the caliper.
Yeah. So, I mean, it almost is a street car.
Almost.
Oh, I mean, it even still has a VIN number.
Yes.
You could practically, I think if you there are some states where you could probably get away with it, put a license plate on the back of it and run it around.
If you had blinkers.
This has turn signals, doesn't it?
I think you could take this,
I think
put a plate on the back.
Yeah. I think it still has turn signals.
I think that'd be the only thing you need.
Yeah. You could run it. Maybe in Kansas you could run it.
I don't think I've ever tried the turn signals on these.
Is the power on?
Hold on.
Random thing we're going to find out. Does the car have functioning turn signals? Is it blinking?
It is not blinking.
Well, we thought it had functioning turn signals.
Try now.
Try it now. Try flipping them now. Yeah, it does.
Backs too? All right, we're gonna go to the store. We'll be back in a little bit.
We're gonna go take it and go run some errands. That's incredible. Well, there you have it. This is the number 66 Mini JCW Pro TC car. And thanks for watching. And if you like what you see, check out more content on this channel at the end of this video.